Studio Hermitage presents Clawmoor Heights, an Our Brilliant Ruin story, created by Rachel J. Wilkinson.
It's quite a happy coincidence that we have the afternoon, Miss Quinn. Tea offers the perfect chance for us to get acquainted. I've been remiss in not extending an invitation sooner.
I'm surprised you have a moment to spare, Lady Clawmoor.
I wanted to make the time, especially after this morning. How distressing it must have been.
How is his lordship?
Tired of doctors. They're examining him now.
Your aviary is stunning, and Vesper is so well behaved around all these tantalizing birds.
Have you had a chance to meet her?
I did. She hissed at me when I first arrived, wanted to let me know whose house I was in.
Vesper, how rude of you. Yes, everyone sees you. She's really more of a mouser, if I'm being honest. Always on the lookout for the ones trying to slip by unseen. She's patient, favouring a single deadly strike rather than getting caught up in the thrill of the chase.
I see. It was his lordship's first wife who built the aviary, if I recall.
Cordelia. She was an aviculturist who was passionate about the conservation of rare birds. Josephine takes after her in that way and has put immense effort into the aviary.
I'm surprised that she would leave it behind.
She wants to set them free.
But wouldn't that be...
dangerous? Quite. I doubt many would survive. She knows that too. Oh, don't get me wrong. I want to see her happy. Her father has his heart so set on her staying, it must be suffocating. But this notion she has of her own captivity, it's a touch melodramatic.
It's hard not to feel for her. Duty is inconvenient.
If my father had made me feel as though pursuing the life I wanted was a betrayal, could you imagine?
Especially when he has 2 other children.
Exactly. You see it as clearly as I do. You're a fellow with Crown Hall College studying history, yes?
At the Rossi Institute, mentoring under Master Vivian Rossi.
Does Clawmoor Heights hold some special interest to you?
You could say that.
A personal connection?
Are you familiar with Tomiko Maeda's work in Dramark history?
Passingly.
She gave a lecture called The Death of Pedigree. It was about the ruins' impact on the royal families and how little we know about them. It made me consider how ruin writes our history.
I believe the term you're looking for is obliterates.
Maybe if it was like fire, burning everything. But to me, it's more like an unseen hand, transforming the world in ways we don't yet understand. It's a force determining how each of us will be remembered.
I tend to think of it as a cruel, indiscriminate catalyst for change. There's a reason those families are no longer with us, and aren't we the better for it?
I'm no royalist. What I'm saying is those inflection points, like when a Montballon estate suddenly becomes a Valgrieve one.
Ugly business.
It was, but those critical moments define generations. And when we examine it, at the center is ruin, which is why I think it's important to understand the nature of it, why we must study it, so we can prepare for its impact, adapt, and discover ways to mitigate its severity.
You sound more like a scientist than a historian.
Considering what we face, wouldn't we all benefit from thinking more scientifically?
Tiberius said you had a quick mind.
That's very flattering. Thank you.
This morning, you seemed reluctant to tutor Lucas.
Surprised. Regretfully unprepared. Not reluctant.
I'm glad to hear that, because I'd like an ally, Miss Quinn. Tiberius wants Clawmoor to stay with Valgreaves. Josephine wants the Dara's money. Lucas is the answer to both. By demonstrating Lucas's commitment to Clawmoor, Tiberius can declare him the heir. With the title of Baron secured, the Daras could find a mutually beneficial marriage appealing, which in turn grants us access to their mining operations. We mine the silver in a way that doesn't harm the home, and then use those profits to support Josephine and Inez in Grandhurst.
And you believe that if I tutored your son like I've been trying with Lady Josephine, it might change Lord Clawmoor's mind?
I do. I also noticed how Mr. Dara looked at you during dinner.
Looked at me?
Don't play coy. You sensed it too.
I mean, I don't know.
Miss Quinn, accept the compliment.
I'll take your word for it.
Cassius Dara has a younger sister and a couple of eligible cousins. If I suggested one of them marry Lucas, it might seem a bit heavy-handed. Pushy, even.
But if I did...
You see it perfectly. I understand Tessa is having your dress tailored for the ball. What if I made sure Cassius Dara was on your dance card?
You'd like me to float this marriage idea?
Consider it a favour you might want to do.
And in exchange for this favor?
My husband's health and Josephine's attitude have put you in a very difficult position. And I think I'd like to make sure you're well taken care of. I'll agree to fulfill the terms of Tiberius's contract. We'd sponsor your rank of master within Crown Hall and take care of your mentor's debts.
Do I have time to think about it?
Of course. Give me your answer tonight at the ball. Yes, Kirazar, is there news?
Excuse the interruption, milady. Indeed, the doctors have calmed his cough. He's breathing well and resting comfortably.
Oh, that's wonderful news. I'm just sorry he'll miss the ball.
About that, he plans to attend.
He will do no such thing.
While it pains me to disagree with you, your ladyship, we may want to consider the long-term ramifications of his absence.
We do?
Consider public perception. Lord Clawmoor's visibility shows your house is in order and keeps unwelcome speculation at bay.
Oh, not if he dies on the dance floor. It's too much, too soon.
Persuading him to remain in bed seems unlikely. He wants to attend for Lady Josephine, and frankly, should it appear his health is in precipitous decline, it may become more challenging to address certain external concerns.
Let's take this conversation inside, shall we? Miss Quinn, do you mind if I leave you? It seems these gentlemen would like to risk my husband's life.
I don't mind at all.
I look forward to hearing your answer.
Thank you again for the invitation. It was lovely to meet you.
Likewise, Miss Quinn. Tell me honestly, Kirazar, how does he look? Propping up a sickly man doesn't exactly convey strength.
I can speak to his valet, and I'll see if the still-room attendant has a tincture to help.
Lady Tessa Valgrieve and Miss Agatha Quinn.
I stepped out of the hallway and into a sumptuous panorama of wealth. In the ballroom, crystal chandeliers floated above the dancers, their light twinkling like stars. Below, gowns in burgundy, copper, and blue swirled in time to the music. The polished dance floor acted as a mirror, doubling the spectacle. And in front of it all stood Lord and Lady Clawmoor, ready to greet us.
Don't you both look stunning? Udolpho does not disappoint.
He really is the best.
Thank you, Lady Clawmoor. And Lord Clawmoor, you're looking well.
A bit of polish never hurts.
Have Josephine and Inez arrived yet?
Over there by the doors leading to the terrace. Look for the two faces beaming with the most joy.
As he watched Lady Josephine, his eyes revealed a trace of melancholy. His smile was affectionate, yet marked by grief.
Oh, it's hard to look at her and not see her mother. I wish Cordelia could have been here, if only for a moment, to see her little girl grown up with a love to call her own.
Moments like these remind us that those we miss dearly are never far away.
The memories keep them close, indeed.
Come, Miss Quinn, we're holding up the line.
Find me later so we can finish our chat from this afternoon.
I will.
Why is there a footman staring at you from across the room?
Where?
By the refreshment table.
Oh, that's Perry. We should say hello.
We absolutely should. It'll send my great aunt into a tizzy the like society has never seen.
Who is your great aunt?
Do you see that shriveled prune in the corner?
The one in the giant hat?
That's her. Lady Catherine Valgrieve, An absolute viper of a woman. I love her. When she sees me talking to the help, it will give her something to complain about for months. It'll be brilliant.
Perry, you're looking very sharp tonight.
Much obliged to you, Miss Quinn. Formal livery always gets a good press and an extra dash of starch. It's like putting on a bow tie. Doesn't change the job, but sure makes it feel more eventful.
Well, isn't he a fun one?
Thank you, Lady Tessa. But, over your shoulder, 5 o'clock, your great aunt is giving us the eye with lips so pursed you'd think she caught an unbonded rifling through her unmentionables.
Which is exactly why I'm going to put my hand on your arm like you are the most charming man in the world tonight.
Ha! Please don't get me fired, Lady Tessa.
Oh, fine. No one feels like living dangerously tonight. Ooh, speaking of drama, I need to find Stellan. Are you all right on your own for a bit?
Yes, quite fine. Thank you.
Until next time, Perry.
Yes, ma'am. I have to say, Agatha, your dress is... It's really something. I mean, it's just...
A lot. It's a lot, isn't it?
It's kind of a lot.
I feel ridiculous.
Don't. You look great. Just, very aristocratic.
Right?
Like someone skinned a ruffle monster.
Stop. Adolfo said it was very chic.
You're on a first-name basis with Adolfo now.
Jealous?
Yeah. I've been practicing my disdainful yet intrigued look for weeks now just for him.
So, I assume you're stuck at the refreshment table tonight?
At least for the next hour. Then I rotate to champagne.
I see.
But if you wanted to come downstairs later, Mrs. Bryant is hosting tea and cake with the leftover desserts.
That sounds nice.
I could save you a spot next to me if you wanted to.
If I wanted...
Maybe?
Oh, I think so.
Enough, fellow Quinn. Spare us the true folk romance novel.
I didn't. I wasn't.
Lady Clawmoor's offer. You were supposed to give her an answer.
Yes, correct. About an hour passed as the Baron and Baroness greeted guests. Then they moved closer to Lady Josephine to sit together as a family.
And did you join them?
I didn't have the chance. Shortly after they sat down, the Baron appeared to excuse himself and quit the room. He passed me as he left, and I noticed his weariness. Each step seemed a labor, and his eyes, well, they were just so sad. Like he had failed himself, or possibly Lady Josephine. I asked if he'd like help, but he waved me off.
That would have been your moment to approach, it seems.
Mr. Renwick Kirazar attended to Lady Clawmoor immediately afterward, where they spoke at length. While I waited, Mr. Cassius Dara joined me.
Do you think there could be something between them?
Kirazar and Lady Clawmoor? Well, surely there must be topics more worthy of our attention than speculating on the love life of our hostess.
I said nothing about love.
How would I know? And why should you care? I believe you're talking quite out of turn.
Ever the true folk defending their employer. You mistake me. I don't care what she does in her bedroom or who she does it with. My interest lies in economics. Half of this room knows Lord Clawmoor has 1 foot in the grave. His creditors are sweating.
You really are circling overhead, waiting to pick over the bones of their misfortune.
The ruin has made each of us what we are, Lady Clawmoor and Mr. Kirazar included.
So you feel entitled to secure your future by any means?
I feel entitled to survive. And I have made them a fair offer, generous even, considering what little of Clawmoor Heights I've seen.
Then what is your concern?
Lady Clawmoor is as cunning as she is beautiful, and Mr. Kirazar is as clever as he is ruthless. Together, they unsettle me. But how crass of me. Forgive me. I have the pleasure of standing near a woman of keen intellect, and I waste it with aristocratic vulgarity. May I have the honor of a dance to redeem myself?
You may. You lead well, Mr. Dara. A natural talent?
No. Cultivated skill, practiced over many hours.
In that case, consider me impressed.
Would you like to know a secret?
I have a weakness for secrets.
Do you know what type of guest is most in demand for these affairs?
I don't believe I do.
A man who dances.
I see.
My father taught me that. The younger, more ambitious version of me.
There was a more ambitious version?
There was, if you can believe it. I wanted to make an impression, so I left a calling card at every door. And then I wait for someone else to decide when I was worthy of their attention.
I don't think I'd have the patience for that.
I did for a time, until Ethan Belafine came along. We traveled in similar circles. He'd get invitations to every event, and I couldn't get in the door. It was baffling. He had a personality akin to howling swine, throwing tantrums when he didn't get his way.
And people enjoyed that?
I thought maybe they did. I couldn't make sense of it. So I finally asked my father what I was doing wrong. He said Ethan was a man who dances. Balls need men willing to take a turn, so guests aren't sitting around looking lonely and sad.
Which means he always received an invitation.
And every invitation was another open door welcoming him in. So I contracted a dance teacher from the Peacock's Feast and have been a fixture at events ever since.
It appears Mr. Kirazar doesn't hold a monopoly on cleverness.
I suppose not.
Are you still close with your father?
I am. He's older now, but no less wise. You understand that my family is why I'm here.
I'm not sure I do.
You might view me as a scavenger benefiting from others' misfortune.
I didn't mean it like that.
No, you did. And you wouldn't be entirely wrong. As the world crumbles to dust, my responsibility is to my family, to those I love most. And if Clawmoor Heights can make them one iota safer, I will rip it from Tiberius's cold, dead hands.
Your intentions are clearer to me now, Mr. Dara.
I don't claim to be good or honorable, but I am candid about who I am and what I want.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you for the dance.
Likewise. You make a great partner. And I see Rodina has set her notice on you. I can escort you to her if the two of you need to speak.
I have a different thought, if you'd indulge me.
As long as you promise to call me Cassius.
All right, Cassius. You mentioned wanting to see the estate.
That is something I'd find quite fascinating.
What if you escorted me as I gave you a private tour?
I wouldn't hesitate. Please, take my arm.
Gladly. And please, call me Agatha. And this portrait is of Catherine Conrad and Esmeralda Valgrieve when they were children.
It's hard to believe they were ever that young. That hunting rifle was as tall as Conrad.
The Valgrieves teach their children how to hunt around the age of 7, depending on the child's aptitude. They also learn shooting, archery, and how to care for the animals on their estates.
Remarkably old-fashioned.
Did you say something?
They're so antiquated.
I think they would call it dignified.
We Daras have a fresher perspective. We value ingenuity, invention, progress. And the Valgrieves chained themselves to the past. No wonder Tiberius can't let go.
Clawmoor Heights was one of their earliest acquisitions. It's a symbol of pride.
Excessive pride, more like. And who is that? The woman above the mantel?
Lord Clawmoor's first wife, shortly after they were married.
I thought she looked familiar. I only met her once or twice as a young boy before she died. She was lovely.
Records listed her death as a sweating sickness.
You sound skeptical.
Those with wealth and influence always find a way to die from anything but ruin.
What was that?
Where did it come from?
Around the corner, over here. Don't move.
I've seen her before.
Who or...
Let
Oh, what is that?
me.
The doorway, there. The way we came in.
Is it jammed?
Did we lock it?
No, I made sure it was open.
Let me try.
Try the next one. I think it's doing it.
What are you talking about?
Controlling the doors.
What?
Cassius, shh! That alcove across the hall. Go, now!
Are you hurt?
It was, too close. It was too close.
Did you see the face?
I did.
That was Cordelia.
Where is she going?
Toward the ballroom?
No, that's the other direction. Just give me a moment. Let me think. It's the East Wing. It has to be. When I saw her before, she pointed in that direction. It's like she was trying to tell me something.
We need to warn them.
There's no one in that part of the house.
How do you know?
Follow me.
Where is she?
Turn left. At the end of the hallway, we go right. We need to get to the long gallery.
What's there?
There's a locked door that leads to an older section of the house. There! The door should be at the other end. Is that Cassius? Is that the Baron on the ground?
Can you turn him over?
Is he breathing? Check his pulse.
He's dead.
Clawmoor Heights stars Kate Siegel, Indira Varma, Byron Mann, Shannon Uphold, J. Sullivan, Sean Patrick Judge, and Jovan Jackson. Written and directed by Rachel J. Wilkinson. Original music composition by Brian Michael Fuller. Recorded by Mark Zamora. Sound design by Kay Wilder and Rachel J. Wilkinson. Mix and mastering by Brian Michael Fuller. Clawmoor Heights is a Studio Hermitage production. Visit us at ourbrilliantruin.com.